we go. Okay. Donna.
Hello, good
Hey,
morning.
listen. Good morning. I went to the wrong studio. I went into
Uh-oh.
my work studio this morning. Yeah, that's a messed up
Okay.
thing.
Well,
Anyway, good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I am fine. Now, tell the folks who you are and why you're here this morning.
My name is Donna, and I'm here because to talk about the Alabama power rates that we're all experiencing. If you have Alabama power, you probably have seen an increase in your bill. Last month, I believe it was the highest. We're seeing people get $1,400 a month power bill. And this particular person messaged me because his has never been over 700, and then he got a $1,400 power bill for um, February. And then the louder we start screaming about this, then they suddenly drop. So this month they went down. Everybody's did, with no change of how they're using their power. We've had people turn their breaker box off except for their refrigerator and freezer all day, and they're getting an exceed daily usage on their power. I had a teacher at the high school message me this weekend and said her mother-in-law had passed away in July. So they have no power going to the house. They flipped the meter or the breakers, and she is getting over $100 a month power bill. She can't figure out how this is happening. But the more we start digging in, it's turned out to be just a whole lot of information that we really didn't want to find, but we're seeing more and more about how all this Alabama power ties in to politicians.
Hmm.
Alabama power gives politicians money for their campaign. Even our governor has gotten 300,000 from Alabama Power. Steve Marshall, he's supposed to be investigating these complaints when we feel like things are not right, but he's referring everything over to the APSC, and he has gotten 160,000 himself. So when you start looking at all of these ties, it goes deep. It goes deep into the political world. We live in Alabama. We never imagined things like this happening, but it is. It's happening. And what I'm afraid of is if people don't know, they're not going to get out and vote. And they say, we've got to vote this year for the APSC members. And there's going to be three members. There's the president, seat one, and seat two and three. No, I'm sorry. There's three seats total, and
Hmm.
we're voting for new representatives. So in the past, they say this has generated the lowest voter turnout than any other election. I'm afraid that people are not going to come out because they just don't know about it. So we wanted to bring awareness. Hey, we got to get people out and vote. This is affecting our power. I mean, our money in our pockets. Because if you're getting, we hadn't even hit summer yet. We have not hit the peak time, and everybody knows how hot it gets in Alabama. So that if that rate for that person is $1,400 now, what is it going to be in June and July and August? It's scary times to think about it, but we've written to the governor, even the president of the United States. We're going as far as we can go just to get loud and let people know, hey, we're on to this. Something is not right. You're increasing your rates, but why? There's no accountability for that. It has not been audited since 1982. Why, that they'll say, well, you're using more. Every time you call, I guarantee you they'll say you're using more electricity. That is not true. People are getting smart to that. They're unplugging everything in their house. They're gone for the entire day. And that is not the case. People's
Hmm.
not using more. They're getting charged more.
Hmm.
Um, and that's kind of what's happening. And we have somebody today that's joining us that is actually running for one of these seats. I say if you see incumbent by their name, they have to go.
Yeah.
I mean,
Matter
we
of fact, yesterday, evidently, they're feeling the heat a little bit of this, and they said, well, we're gonna make them do audits I guess every year now, or rate. They're going to look at the rates every year rather than when they want to. My issue, it's getting to the, if you're on Social Security and that's all the money you're getting, when your light bill becomes more than your Social Security check,
Exactly.
where are these people going to live? When I say these people, I'm one of them.
Well, yeah, right. Everybody.
Well, so we got somebody else joining us.
Hello,
Hello, Pauline. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Uh,
Hey, Pauline.
Now, you guys know that once you go public with these kinds of things and on the airways and all that stuff, people are gonna, they're gonna say you're rabble rousing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, we're just real. We're real people like everybody else, and we're out trying to make a living. But when your power bill exceeds your mortgage, we have a problem.
right. I got, I'm a registered nurse and I got involved because I just kept seeing all these elderly people talking about their power bill and, elderly people who are retired live on a limited income. And it's just sad to me. So as a nurse, we're advocates for the people. So I got involved basically because of that. Started a petition to have Alabama Power audited, the Public Service Commission be held responsible for doing that. And so we have over 15,000 signatures right now. But it truly is a shame that it's come to this.
Well, when Twinkle Kavanaugh used to be the Public Service Commissioner, the chairman of the Public Service Commission, we had an attorney in town who used to be on the air with named Mark Montiel. I mean, he used to be on her just like it was a bad day every day. And I told him, "Hey, why are you so hard on her?" But and now she's working for somewhere in the Trump administration, and Beaker and all these guys. It just doesn't seem that they really understood these powers. Alabama Power is one of the few businesses in the state of Alabama that's guaranteed a certain rate of return on their investment. And
Right.
I haven't figured that out yet. I got a little mini business, self-employment business, and nobody's guaranteed me any any return on my money. Uh,
No.
so
Exactly.
do you know what that's all about, or is that still in effect? Do you guys know?
Oh, yeah. It's still in effect. I mean, it's like I've never seen a business ever in my life to where you're guaranteed a profit, but they are. I guess it's in maybe, I don't know, a contract, whatever they have with the state,
Well, what
but
what they
it's
do,
ridiculous.
Pauline, is they go to the APSC and they say, well, they had X amount of money go out for infrastructure and storm damage. That's commonly what they say, and then the PSC just gives them more money, and so they're still getting their profit while we're getting higher power bills. That's how it's
Right.
working.
Right.
Wow. The do we have an is everybody running for reelection at the PSC now, or only a couple people? I know I don't even know who the chairman of the thing is nowadays.
The chairman is, or is she the president? Cynthia Almond is what, the president, I think,
Hmm.
who was appointed by Governor Ivey. She knows nothing about the position, had never done anything about it. In fact, when they interviewed her about it, her comment was she doesn't know enough about it to respond. Um, and then another person was appointed by Governor Ivey. I think there's 2 spots that are available. Is that, Donna?
It's 2 spots, but I said at first 3, but it is 2 spots. And if they get their way, they want to put a director of energy,
Yes.
and then they're wanting to add 4 additional seats. So that would give them 5 seats to be appointed. Now, 5 seats compared to our 2 voted seats, I mean, that tells you the story there. Our 2 seats are not going to matter if this was to happen. So when you see that they're trying to appoint, that let the governor appoint, that's not a good thing. We need to keep control as voters. So if they get in here and they don't do a good job, we can vote them out. We may be stuck temporarily, but we can have the ultimate say. So if you look at some of these House and Senate bills, they're trying to put that in where they appoint instead of and take away
Right.
the voters' right. So
Well,
that can come out to be a hard thing for us.
yes, and also the main thing about this new thing they're trying to do is they want that secretary energy, but that person is going to be appointed by the governor, will not answer to the people at all, will strictly answer to the governor, and can overrule anything anybody else on that committee says. They have the final say whether Alabama Power is audited or anything. They have the final say. That is too much power for one person. We don't need that. Besides, we don't need more people added to the Public Service Commission because that's more money that will cost us taxpayers. What we need is for the Public Service Commission to do their job, audit Alabama Power like they're supposed to.
That's
I
right. They're
talked
supposed to
to
be there for us.
mhm. I talked
Exactly.
to Senator Bobby Singleton, who is I think the minority leader in the Senate, and I questioned him about. Matter of fact, he's supposed to come on after you guys leave. I said, well, we're going to appoint people. I said we already don't have a lot of say in this, even though we're supposed to be their boss and it's supposed to be representing us, but they really don't pay us much attention. So now we're going to appoint them, and their allegiance won't be to us. Their allegiance will be to the people that appoint them.
Exactly. Which is not right. And that's not what it's supposed to be. And all of these people that's in office are supposed to work for us, the people, but they don't. Apparently, they work for Alabama Power, who lines their pockets with money, and that can be proven by just looking at the money they take.
As a matter of fact, you guys put out on and that Facebook page. What's the name of your Facebook page?
Now, there's 2 Facebook pages. Well, there's probably more than that, but our main page that we have is Alabama Corruption Unrestricted, but then there is another page, Alabama Corruption.
Okay.
Alabama Power Corruption, I'm sorry.
Okay. Well,
And
all I know
Energy Alabama supplies a lot of information too. They're very
Yeah.
involved.
Yeah.
let me see if I can. Alabama Power gives power to everyone. So if Alabama Power goes up on their rates, Spire goes up on theirs. Everybody goes up on their rates if Alabama Power goes up on their rates, because Alabama Power delivers power to just about everybody.
Well, it's a
Right.
trickle effect. You're right, because they've got to make money, these other businesses, and they're not going to have a loss in their business. And I mean, it's a trickle effect. So everybody goes up, and it's kind of what we're seeing where, everybody's going up. I mean, all the prices are going up, but our paychecks are not.
And I don't
That's true.
I don't know of any other utility that has a guaranteed
I don't either, and nobody's explained. I talked to some of the representatives, the newer ones. They cannot explain that to me. Why
Right.
do they? Because they're a monopoly for the most part, and even the people who are quote unquote separate get their power from Alabama Power.
Right.
So
Right. It's unbelievable what we're seeing.
I mean, we know that the infrastructure, when it's initially was put forth, it took a lot of money. We got that part. They done made that money quadruple that money since they initially went into business. One person on the thing says, "When did the PSC do a good job for the citizens?" I don't know. I've been there since 1991, and people have been complaining about a lot of things that the PSC is supposed to cover, but
Yeah.
they just don't seem to do a good job of advocating for the citizens.
And I'm going to chime
Right.
in on that, Kelvin, because you're 100% accurate. I asked, like we talked with a lot of people, and I said, have your complaints been have you received any response from the PSC? over your complaint. One person has written 18 times and said they have yet to respond to them. And I've had one person out of about 100 say only they did respond to them, but they were very rude to them and told them it's just the way it is. And I mean, even the governor, like what she does, a lot of people did receive a letter back from the governor, and she said, "Well, I'll forward your complaint to the APSC," but it's fallen on deaf ears. Like, they're not really responding to the people, and where does people go now? If your leaders are not standing up and advocating. Now, I do want to say one thing. Katie Britt her office called me personally. No letter. It was just a phone call. And she listened to the complaint, and they said she's aware and she wants y'all to know that she's going to do everything she can from the federal standpoint and the state. But that was a month ago, and there's been nothing from her office since. So I, I just don't feel reassured that the elected members are going to step in and help us. We're going to have to vote these people out of office is what we're going to have to do. And we're going to have to clean house because it's been the way it's been since 1982 with no accountability. They, like you said, they can't tell you, hey, we're having to go up on rates because of this. Now, from what I've researched, there is a record, but it's not available to the public. Is that right, Pauline? Because that's what I've heard, that there's no public hearings. There's nothing that can show accountability to us. So
Right. They say that they do it, but that they do an audit of them, but it's not like to where they're sworn in, or anything like that.
yeah,
And
there's no
not
court rule.
available.
Yeah.
It's not available to the public. Well, they need to be sworn in, and the books need to be open, and it needs to be in
Well,
court
I
and
gotta,
all that.
yeah, I gotta tell you guys, I got a friend of mine who used to go down there all the time. They did not even want us to videotape their meetings with Alabama Power. I said, wait a
Right.
minute, it says the Public Service Commission.
Exactly.
So we're the public, and we don't get to.
No.
I mean, this is plus on one of these, on one of you guys, I think it's on your site. We got 40 senators for the state of Alabama.
Right.
Are we saying that all 40 senators get contributions from Alabama Power?
Well, they admitted in that meeting
Yes.
in Montgomery, and Pauline, you could go ahead with this, but she admitted that they're all getting, and she said every one of us is getting money from them. You can go ahead,
Yes.
Pauline.
She said they all take money from Alabama Power, and they're going to continue to take it. They'll take money from anybody. And I do understand that they take money because of, their campaigns and things like that. But also, when you take money from Alabama Power, first of all, that should be illegal, and they should not be allowed to do that, because regardless of who you are, I don't care who you are. You can say that it doesn't sway your vote or whatever, but that's not true. Because when someone's giving you money and the amount that Alabama Power gives them, I mean, you can't tell me that does not sway your vote. I mean, it's obvious because they have not made Alabama Power be accountable for anything in over 40 years. So let's face it, they need to do something about that situation. Alabama Power should not be allowed to do that. Then, and as far as Katie Britt, you have Katie Britt, who is in the Senate, whose husband used to work for Alabama Power, who is now a lobbyist for Alabama Power, which to me should be a conflict of interest.
Yes.
But that's another story for another day, I guess. But it's just all of this corruption just keeps building and building, and nobody wants to do anything. And even though the people who are in office would not be there had we not voted them in, they don't work for us.
Well,
they work for Alabama Power. That's obvious.
Well, I'll give you a little. I heard a politician the other day say that because they didn't know I was in the AO. but they said he had a lobbyist come to them the other day in the halls of the House of Legislature. Said, we are back in charge again. And so when they
Wow.
don't work for us. And I
Right.
a couple of months ago I said, well, who do they work for? Now we have found out who they work for.
That's
Right.
It
Yes.
is certainly not us. This lobbyist was absolutely ecstatic that now they have some control back with the House.
It's about money and power. And if you follow the two, it'll end you to somewhere you probably don't even want to know to begin with, but that's how it works.
So what does happen when our power bills get so high that older people with very limited income cannot afford their electricity? Are we going to have a bunch of people sitting in houses in Alabama with the lights off?
Well, that's sad. And it's getting to that point, especially when you have older people who are having to make a decision whether they're going to buy groceries and eat or they're going to pay their power bill. That's ridiculous.
Or their
That should
medication. I
never
heard
be that
one
way.
say, I can't afford my medicine. I had to pay my power bill. I can't pay for my medicine. So, and I paid for her medicine because, she has to have her medicine.
Right.
So that's happening. People can't afford. And then I've heard people say, we can't stay under Alabama power. If this is the indication how it's going to start and then through the summer, then they said, we're going to have to move. I've heard people say they're going to move out of Alabama to get away from Alabama power. Now,
Myself included.
and Pauline told me that too. That's like a real thing.
Yes, it is.
When Alabama Power takes your entire check for the month, what
Yeah, I
do you
know.
do for the rest of the month? You got groceries to buy, you've got other bills to pay.
Yeah. Well, who is there anybody listening?
I don't know. I hope they're listening, but it doesn't seem, they just seem to continue to do what they want. Alabama Power has deep pockets, and they're owned by Southern Company, who has even deeper pockets. So it's sad, but I hope that there's some good people left in office somewhere who will pay attention to we the people and do something, because it's just getting worse. When you have $1,200 power bills,
Yeah,
that's unbelievable.
That is.
and for a while there, I thought years ago, I thought they said they didn't. The power man, they used to come around the houses and check the meter.
Right.
Evidently, they don't do that anymore. They
No.
use a machine, they say, that checks the meter from the street.
Well, now this is what I was told. I did file a complaint with the Public Service Commission.
Good luck.
And I did not hold back. And they called me. A lady called me, and she was like, well, there's really nothing we can do, and I'll forward your complaint to Alabama Power. She did forward my complaint. Alabama Power called me. So I'm talking with the lady, and she disagrees, with everything I'm saying, which
Of course.
I don't really care because I know what I'm talking about. But they didn't know that I have gas and, electric. Because first she tried to say, well, it's getting a lot colder, so you've used more electricity. I said, no, I haven't. And then that's when I explained to her, look, I cook with gas. I have gas heat, gas water heater, blah, blah, blah. And so she was like, oh. And then, so when I'm talking to her about it, she says that that they read your meter by satellite. And I said, you mean you guesstimate what my power is going to be? And she's like, no. She said, the only time we ever do that is when we can't see, like if it's a cloudy day or it's raining or something and we can't see the meter. Oh, well, okay. Why would you guesstimate? Send somebody out here to read my meter then.
I can't understand. So they're telling us they now read the meter from space?
She said from satellite. That's exactly what she told me. Yes.
So all these houses in Alabama,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to convince us that somebody's sitting there at the desk at Southern Company or Alabama Power, whichever one they do it at, and reading everybody. How many people can they have? Can they have working to do that? Unless AI is doing it.
That's what she told me. It's read by satellite. And the only time that they can't see it is if it's raining or cloudy, foggy, something like that. Other than that, you know, she said they read it by satellite because like I'm I'm signed up so I get alerts.
Right.
They send me an alert every day about my power. And according to my email, it says they read it at 6 o'clock every morning. But if you talk to Alabama Power, they give you a different time. Like when I talked to them and called them about it, she said they read it at 12 o'clock midnight. Well, it's what I explained to her. I said, well, then why does your email that comes to me say that you read it at 6 o'clock this morning? That doesn't make sense.
And
This was read
and
at a
at
certain time, but
midnight,
the email says something different. That doesn't make sense.
and at midnight, that doesn't make sense either, Polly,
Exactly.
because I'm getting to exceed my daily limit by 6 a.m. Like you said, like it's on the
Right.
thing. We were asleep. And then pretty much everybody gets up and gets out the door. How are we exceeding our daily limit at this time?
Right.
I mean, I don't understand.
Okay, but I've never listen. You guys are illuminating a lot of. We're reading meters from satellite now.
Yeah.
Nobody's and if the clouds are there, then they can't see they can't see the meter, so they got to guesstimate
That's
of
what
what,
she explained
of
to
what
me.
it might be. And so now that makes sense to me because how in the world, like mine was $325. Now it's normally about $100, $110, something like that. And I said to myself, I don't use. Here's one they'll use. Do you use those space heaters? Which I threw one away the other day. I said, listen, if that's the cost of being warm, I guess I'll have to just get cold.
Yeah.
I can't afford it. But I'm really concerned about the older people, and since I'm one of them older people now, I really
Yeah,
concerned.
I'm one of them.
Yeah, what
I'm
do
one
we
of them
do?
older people
Yeah,
now.
what do we do when we can't afford it? I mean, do they just come on, put a tag on the door, say sorry about that, and they cut it off?
And I'll tell you this, somebody did message me that she tried to work out. She got her Social Security was like $1,200 a month.
Mhm.
She got a bill for $1,100 from Alabama Power. She called them and said, "Look, that's basically everything I make for the month. Can I work out a payment arrangement?" She said she's always made her bills on time, never had a late payment. They would not work with her, and they cut her power off.
Are you serious?
I'm
What city
serious.
was that in?
I can't remember where she was from. She sent me
Okay.
a message, but I can't remember. But she said
Now
she
they
did
do.
get hers cut off.
They did tell me, now you guys may not know this, so I'm going to give you some information you don't know that'll probably make you a little happy. So I called down there. They said, "Oh, we do have discounts for Social Security or something like." He said, "I said, yeah, how much is that be? Oh, $14."
Yeah, I
Oh,
knew
for the
about
love
that.
of Jesus. $14?
And
$14.
Well, when
then
you get
charge
a
you three hundred
$1,200
dollars
bill,
more
that
the
doesn't
next
really.
month. So
Yeah. And let
it,
me ask you guys, they have this other program where they call it, you pretty much get the same bill every month, but you really don't. Because I was on that program for years, and the
Budget
bills
billing.
it still changed.
Is it budget billing you're
Yeah,
talking about?
budget, right? Yes, sir, ma'am.
Yes.
Budget billing. It don't stay the same.
It doesn't, and they don't do that right either because I just got off of it. I've been on it for over 20 years,
Yeah, I
and
was too.
my
Yeah.
power bill stayed between like 273 for years and years, and then all of a sudden it started climbing until it got 500, almost $600. I'm like, look, this is ridiculous. I don't use any more power. So I complained, and they were like, well, if you get off of it, hey, I would have had to pay like over $700 something. So I waited until I had like a credit on my account, and I got off of it. All I had to do was pay my
Wow.
$502.
What what do you want? How can we help you guys in this fight?
We got to vote. I keep saying that because, like I said at the beginning, the voting for these seats with the ASPC have the lowest voter turnout in Alabama in history. So they tend to not know enough about it, so they don't know how to vote. They need to just be aware, hey, your vote matters. Every single vote matters. We've got to show up this year, guys. We've got to. It's this May that the primaries hit us. So we need to know. We need to know about these candidates. But let me say this: they'll tell you a lot of things because this is election year. See what they've backed in the past. See if they've ever supported what they've done to support the people, and that'll tell you your answer.
Yes.
You can go and print a sample ballot off because a lot of these people are not going to know. You got to do your homework with it. You're going to have to look to see what they supported in the past. Go back a few years and see what all that they support, because they're going to tell us a lot of stuff to get on this primary ticket.
Right.
But we've got to stand up.
And people need to forget about Democrat and Republican. Who cares what someone is? You need to research that person and what they stand for. Will they help you? Don't worry if they're a Democrat or Republican. Don't worry about that part of it. Research the person to see what they stand for. Will they truly help the people? We need to get the people that's in office out of office. They need to be voted out, and we need them replaced for people who will truly work for the people of Alabama before anything's going to be done. As long as the people who are in office continue to stay in office, they're going to let Alabama Power keep continuing to fill their pockets with money, and they're not going to do anything about the situation until these elderly people are going to have nothing. They're already having to make a decision whether to eat, buy groceries so they can eat, or pay their power bill. And no one should ever have to do that. Ever.
And I want to say one thing, that the governor, that Will Santavasky, I hated to say his last name because I know I butchered it, but he is not receiving any money from Alabama Power. And he said, nor will I. He's self-funding his campaign.
Now, who is that? Who is
Will Santavasky. It's like Santivasci.
And he's running for governor?
He's running for governor.
Well, today is the first time I've heard of him.
Yes, and I asked him a lot of questions, and he responded to every question. And he is self-funding his campaign. He is not going to be bought out by like people like Alabama Power.
And let me say this for anybody listening: Tommy Tuberville, you vote no. Tommy Tuberville is a vote no. We do not want him in office. If he gets governor, Alabama Power is going to be able to do whatever they want, because he's already said he is for them. We want Tommy Tuberville needs to be a no for governor.
And he wanted the appointment of these seats. And he really pushed to that till we got loud. When we got loud, he went on the news and said, well, I'm hearing it loud and clear from the people that so he's kind of flipping it. And I don't want a governor to flip flop. I want somebody to stand strong. We need somebody to stand strong.
Right. But now let's be fair out. Listen, if you got somebody who's willing to change their mind, that's a good thing.
The thing about Tommy Tuberville is he's the one who wants the Secretary of Energy. We don't need that.
Yeah, I think we got enough secretaries already.
Yeah, we got enough government. We got too much
government already.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to get him. I'm trying to get him on the show too, and talk about these things. So, which are both of you guys a member? Are you guys a member of the same the Alabama Power Facebook pages or anything? Or
yes.
And which one do you guys normally? Because I want to send people to your Facebook page so they can just tell their stories and stuff like that. Which one? Which one?
Ours is Alabama Power Corruption Unrestricted.
Okay, good. Well, listen, we'll good luck on that, because it's a tough one. But I'm glad you brought this up because I'm gonna see if I can get Tommy Tuberville's people on there and just find, because when you're the coach and you're making millions of dollars,
Right.
okay, these things don't bother you.
Right.
Okay,
Exactly.
he's a
Right.
millionaire. I'm like $100 mayor. I mean,
Yeah.
if I can get $100, I'm a happy kind of guy.
You
Yeah.
have $100?
Well, I'm holding on to it. I got the same $100 bill I had for a while.
You got it folded, huh?
Yeah, but listen, you guys continue to work, and anytime you want to pop in and give us an update, because you guys have illuminated some things with us this morning, and the thing I've never heard of this satellite thing.
And listen to this. This is going to be for another day, and I'm just now digging into this.
Mm-hmm.
Guess where some of our satellite comes from? China. Look it up. It's out there. So that's, I mean,
Wait a
something
minute,
is
wait a
just
minute, wait a
weird
minute.
about the whole thing.
We're using a satellite that's in China to check our Alabama power
We're getting, and if you look this up, and I'll send you the
Yeah.
information that I'm reading so far. I wasn't going to talk about it because I really need a little bit more information. But yes, we are getting some of the satellite from China.
Somebody made a mistake. That can't be true.
I'm going to send you this information, Kelvin. When what
Okay.
I'm reading is, and it's verified. I mean, I don't.
Okay. Well, let's get. I
Now
want
we're
you
not
guys.
supposed to. We're not supposed to get any satellite from a foreign country. Is what I'm reading. But Alabama Power has gotten some of their satellite.
Okay. Well, we're going to have you guys back before the election, and you guys can tell us whether or not they have been if they work for us
Yeah.
or they work for the Southern Company.
And
Right.
come on, Alabama, stand strong together because we
That's
are
right.
loud together. But if one person thinks that their vote doesn't matter or that their opinion doesn't matter, it does. It does matter. We need everybody.
Yes,
That
we
it
do.
does. All right, guys. Well, I will see you got Donna and Pauline. We're not going to use your last names or anything like that because I don't want you to go. I don't.
I'll get a $1,500 power bill next month
I
after
know.
this one.
I know. Me too.
Yeah.
And I'm barely paying the one I had. So we're
That's
gonna leave that alone.
right.
That's
Okay, listen.
exactly right.
So can I reach out to you guys later on in the year, and
Yes.
let's see, has anybody listened to you?
Sounds
Yes.
good.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having us on.
Thanks a lot, guys. I'm gonna replay this too, so people will be able to hear you again. The ones who didn't get up this early.
How do we find this link?
It's gonna be on YouTube actually,
Okay.
and because I'm gonna make sure I upload it to YouTube. Okay.
All right. We're famous,
Thank you.
Pauline. We made it to YouTube.
Yeah, you made
Yeah.
YouTube. It's gonna be under Decisions
Decisions
2.0.
2.0. Okay.
Mhm.
Very good. Thank you, Kelvin.
All right,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining us this morning.
All
All
right.
right.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye. All righty then. Well, that was interesting. Man, I came on this morning with the wrong studio. I'm sorry about that, but sometimes it happens. I was so intrigued. Okay, let me take a break. We'll come back with some other things because we got some other things to tell you some things. Now I'm supposed to get. I don't think he'll probably show up because politicians sometimes don't do what they say they're going to do. Um, our guest at 8 was supposed to be um, Bobby Singleton, Senator Bobby Singleton. So I don't know where he is, but we shall see. We shall see. We shall see. Okay. All right then. Kick from there. Kick that guest out right there. Okay, there we go. So if he shows up, we'll get him on. I got to take a break for a couple minutes here because I got to go get my not my Dr. Pepper. I got to go get my glass of milk right quick, and then we'll come back. So don't you guys don't go in any place. Okay, give me about 3 minutes. Okay, we will be back. 3 MIN. Okay, minutes. Okay, 3 minutes. So don't you guys go any place now. I'll be right back in a couple of minutes. I gotta go get my glass of milk, because we got some other important things to talk about, and something that Senator Kennedy said that should change the attitude of most Americans. Okay, so we'll be right back in a uno dos tres momento. Okay, we'll be back. Hang loose right there. Don't go anyplace. I'm gonna be back with you. So just hold on. We'll be back. All righty then. You know, when I started this morning, I went into the wrong studio, and when I say studio, we have each one of these. Anyway, wrong long story, but anyway, but I finally got the right studio, so hey, I appreciate. I do apologize for the mix up this morning. I must have still been sleepy or something. I don't know. I was thinking all night long about my friend who passed. So good morning. How's everybody doing? It seems that the trial of who's this young guy, Yaziz or whatever his name is, for the Anaya young lady. Evidently, it's going to the jury now, and over there in Macon County. That's good. Now, but here is something. We got two members of Congress who are a piece of work. Okay, just a piece of work. Only we probably got more than two, but these two just really just get on my everlasting nerve. If I could deport them, I would. And that would be Omar and Talib. I'd put them out of this country. Okay, and because they never have anything good to say about America, and they are ripping us blind. Okay, they never have anything good to say about America. I would put their butt on the first thing smoking. Put them on the same satellite that's reading Alabama's powers meters for us. Okay. What the cat? Oh, and then and that's a good thing. I can do that, man. That's a good idea. If y'all do want to, if you do want to cam up, if you like the Greg said, and you want to come into the studio, I'm gonna put the link in the comments, and all you got to do is type this into your Don. Call me. Give me Don. Give me a call back in a minute, Don. Let me. I got to fix some stuff here, and I'll let you in. Um, just give me about 3 or 4 minutes here, and there is a link that you could actually use to if you're out there and you on your cell phone or whatever the case may be, and um, you wanted to actually come on. Let's see now. What is that time? Oh, here it is, right here. You could actually come in and be a guest if you wanted to. Okay, see, Don doesn't he doesn't get it yet. Okay, so there it is. Okay, Don. Okay, okay. So you have to, Don. You got to give a brother a chance here. That's why I said give me a couple of minutes, Don.
There's a delay.
Okay, what's up? Now that I got you on.
Well, there's so much misinformation. I bet you most people listening pay more for their cell phone than they do for Alabama Power.
No, not me, brother. No.
Well, no, not you, but and Alabama Power uses. There's a signal sent from your meter to a router on top of a telephone pole. That's not a satellite. These women don't know anything they're talking about.
Well, somebody's reading that meter.
Yeah, but it's not going through a satellite. It goes to a router on top of a telephone pole. It's more efficient. They can tell you what your bill is right at each time of the day. I mean, and the cost is a lot more than when they just put in. How's power generated, Kevin?
Stop asking me elementary questions.
Well, just tell me how it's generated. You act like you know so much.
I don't know.
How is it generated?
I know a little bit about everything, not a lot about
Tell
anything.
me how it's generated. How do they make power?
This ain't questions for me. Just
That's
tell
because
people.
you shouldn't run your mouth if you don't know what you're talking about.
I know about the bill. That's the only thing I worry about.
Well,
I don't care how it's
Do
generated.
you think they get natural gas free?
Of course you don't. But when Alabama Power takes their power,
So when they burn in gas to get it generated, is that free?
again, I've been here since '91. My bills have steadily gone up, and it's the same power.
What hadn't gone up?
Exactly. And why is it going up?
Because everything went up under Biden.
Again, people get $1,100.
All these people, I guarantee you, most of these people were calling about Alabama Power is paying more for their cell phone, and they're not griping about that.
That's not true.
You know,
man.
you take some of these people
true.
who's getting all kinds of welfare and everything else. I guarantee you, they got a cell phone bill that's hell, but they won't. They don't worry about that.
That's not true. Who's getting
But
$500 phone bill?
The power is not sent by no satellite. So
no, she didn't say the power was sent by satellite. She said
well,
the
information,
meters are read.
It's not read by a satellite.
And how do you know that?
It's read by a router on top of a telephone
How do you
pole.
know that? How do you know that?
Because I'm smart. I can read.
Okay.
You should try it.
Okay. All right then. I don't listen. I don't put anything behind anybody. And evidently, these ladies have gone out and did a lot of research on this stuff. I mean, that's their whole deal now, is to go out and do research, and that's what they've been doing for months. So I'm gonna believe them before I believe you. I mean, and again, what do you do when you get $1,100 power bill and $1,200 power bill, and you only get $1,100 to survive on the whole month? What do you do? And why are the power bills going up so high? Really? Okay. And if the clouds are there and they can't read the meter, they guesstimate. Okay. Now I know Dr. Joe's got some stock in Alabama Power, so he don't really care how high how high it goes up. That's okay. But I'm not mad at anybody trying to make a little money on the stock market. That's cool. That's the American way. But I will say one thing, boy. I will say one thing. There are things that are going on out here that just don't make sense. And again, but let me get back to this Senator Kennedy thing. Senator Kennedy is one of those people that will sit you down and relax you to the point where you think you getting over, and then he'll crush you with some of his questions. And I this man said something yesterday that I am in total 100% agreement with, and I'm not in 100% agreement with anybody, but on what his statement was, he said yesterday he didn't just speak. According to the article, he detonated truth bombs across that odious chamber. Said the debate was dragging until he stood, ice in his veins, and said, and I'm with him on this. I am tired of people who keep insulting America. 11 words silence. Silence was so thick you could choke somebody. And then he zeroed in on Elon Omar. He says, especially those who came here fleeing danger, built fortunes on our freedom, and then spit on the flag that saved them while cashing 174K salaries and jetting overseas to bash us. The room erupted. Omar's face blazed crimson. Rashida Tlaib shouted, point of order, racist, racist, because that's what they always say, racist, racist. Phones dropped, gavels froze, Kennedy unshaken. Darling, if you hate this country, Delta's got a one-way ticket waiting. Love it or leave it. And I love this right here. Patriotism is not hate. It is gratitude. And I absolutely, if you're really a patriot, you appreciate what this country has done for you. One of these women came here broke as a goat, and now she's worth $67 million. And they said they did it by a winery. Well, guess what? People are going to the address where the winery is supposed to be, and there's nothing there. Nothing there at all. So where are they getting all of this money from? Now they came here worth $2. Now they're worth 67 million. So these are the same idiots that complain about America. Again, I love what he said. Patriotism is not racism. Okay? It is gratitude for a place like the United States to live in. And again, if you just don't like it, take your ass someplace else. Let them go someplace else. Let me see. Let me see who this is. Let me see. Oh, he's not there. Okay, well, he went someplace. Anyway, so I'm just telling you, something's wrong. Something's wrong with people who come here running from their country, come here and dog out ours. Okay, so I'm just telling you, something's we've allowed this for too long. And again, nobody cares if you leave. I mean, really, nobody cares if you leave this country. We won't miss you. I mean, you don't bring that much to it anyway to miss you. We won't miss you. Okay? Take your ass back over where you from and then just stay there. I ain't mad at you. Not at all. But there needs to be some appreciation for the sacrifices that people have made. And if you go there, there's a all over the world, Americans have died, laid blood in the waters and in the soils of many countries. Okay, so I just don't know anymore. I just don't know. There is a, you may have heard of this place. It's called Arlington. You may have heard of that place where there are rows and rows and rows and rows and rows and even more rows of simple white cross that are on top of the graves of thousands of young men and women who have given the last measure of sacrifice to this country. Even recently, we've added some more to it. So I wish they just put their ass out of this country, send them someplace else. Okay, I'm sick of them. Okay, okay. It's like knocking on my door and say, hey, I'm in danger. I'm in danger. Can you open up and let me in? And you open up and let them in, and they get to talking about you. So I don't know. I'm send their ass back to where they come, whatever part of Africa, Somalia, whatever part they came from. Send them back over there. Okay. So I mean, really, we need to expel them from Congress for conduct unbecoming. Whatever. Just get rid of them. I'm sick of them. Because they don't what they have sacrificed. I don't know what they've sacrificed. Nothing. What did they say bad about it? Oh, they're always going overseas saying bad things. They are. But I'll get you some video of that. Senator Kennedy don't really get on you unless he has his facts together. This ain't coming from me. This is coming from this guy. Read the Constitution. They say the same about me. Who said that about me? I have never gone to foreign soil and criticized my country. Never. Never will. We all have disagreements. Even in our own families, we have disagreements, and we were born with them. Disagreement is one thing. Total disrespect. And again, how do you come here broke, making $174,000 a year, and now you're worth millions of dollars without stealing? Really? I don't know. Unless you got Microsoft stock, I don't want to say, or some of that Jeff Bezos stock, or IBM. Is IBM still around? I don't know. But anyway, I just enjoyed what he said. Okay. Especially those who come here. He said, especially those who came here fleeing danger. They have built fortunes on our freedom and then spit on the flag that saved them while cashing $174,000 salary checks and jetting overseas to bash us. Okay. And Rashida Tlaib shouted, point of order, point. And the only word they can come out with is racist. Okay. Phones dropped, gavels froze. Kennedy was unshaken. He said, darling, if you hate this country, Delta got one-way tickets waiting. Love it or leave it. And I love this. This all it makes. Patriotism isn't hate, it's gratitude. I'd vote for this guy. I'd vote for him over Trump. We just don't. We don't seem to value the freedoms that we have in this country anymore. We don't. Are we a perfect country? Absolutely not. Will we ever be? Absolutely not. But are we the best country on God's green earth? Absolutely. Is there in now? And if you don't believe me, just go someplace. Go to Canada someplace. People whining about them trying to get over here. Go to Mexico. No, they don't want to live down. Go anywhere you want to go. And if for some reason you think they're better than we are, call us. We'll send your stuff to you. Okay, we'll send all your packages and everything to you. Okay. I'm tired of politicians getting elected and going to Washington and lining their pockets. Yeah, me too. Stocks and money on both sides, Dems and absolutely Democrats and Republicans. They do it. They do it, and they've been doing it for a long time. And I don't know where my good friend is this morning. Um, uh, uh, Senator Bobby Singleton said he was going to show up, but I didn't really expect him to actually. But he said he would. I sent him the link and everything, but that's okay. We're good. Also, let's get on to something else. But I just, you're spitting on the graves of people, those young men and women who died a couple of days ago, going places because we asked them to. And you may not have personally asked them to go to these places, but we voted for the people that told them. And if you didn't vote, you are still to blame. If you didn't vote, you're still to blame because you didn't work hard enough to get somebody to vote against them. So we are responsible. Every life that has been lost in every battle ever fought, except Civil War, we're responsible for them. We owe those people something. We owe those people something. Okay, and if nothing else, we owe a patriotism. Okay. Okay, so I'm just saying, I just get sick of those guys and them to leaving them. I can't stand them. I wouldn't pour water on them if they was on fire. I just, there's just been too many people who have their limbs, who are mentally exhausted, don't even know where they are, lost limbs, lost legs, lost lives, and these son of a guns right here running over here, and becoming millionaires, and now they talk smack. Boy, I tell you, I don't know. Anyway, check out Africa. Yeah, I've been there. Yeah, didn't want to. Although Nigeria is a good place, nice place, but I couldn't. It wasn't nice enough for me to stay. Okay, I think you're lying again. Okay, people, when you tell me that I'm lying, just tell me what I'm lying about. Don't just say you're lying. I mean, I tell a lot of lies in a day. So tell me which lie you're talking about. Then I can defend myself. Don't say you're lying again. No, just tell me what I'm lying about, and I can, and I'll straighten it out. Okay. An opinion is a lie. That's just predicated on the lie. Yellow.
Hey, what you whining about this morning?
I ain't whining. I'm just tired of people coming here to get away from their. I'm like Kennedy. You come here to get away from your country because it sucks, and then you get here, become millionaires, and now you don't have anything good to say about the place where you made the money at.
Who country is who this belongs to right here?
It belongs to me and you.
So how does it belong to me and you?
We put we pay taxes for it. We have put our blood and our sweat and tears in the dirt for it. You and I, we've sacrificed for it. Well, I don't know about
who was here before me and you. Who was here before me? You and I got here.
I could care less. Everybody was here before somebody got here.
This is God country.
We didn't say we own it. We didn't make the land.
You act like it. You act like it.
But even in the wait. Even in the Bible, certain people were given land by God. So He allows us to take care of it.
Okay. So you speaking of talking about people. So a certain individual doesn't go across the country talking about people.
Let me put it to you this way, brother. If I'm in the house with you, wait
way,
a minute. If brothers and sisters talk about each other in their own house, that's one thing. But when we go to somebody else's house and we start talking about each other, that's a problem.
So a certain individual never sat on TV with those foreign leaders talking about how bad the American cities are.
No, not in a way that you trying to.
Wait a minute.
And some of us
Trump don't get on TV. Let me go and call his name since you don't know who I'm talking about. Trump doesn't go on TV with those foreign leaders talking about, I wish my city was like that. These places we got is
No,
dump
show it to me.
holes and
No,
boo-boo
show it to me.
holes and shit
No,
holes.
show it to me. Show.
Vomit holes.
Give me the video.
See,
Give me the video. No, I've never seen him. I've never seen him do that. But give me the video. I'll look at it.
he even talk about NATO, and all of a sudden he want their help now.
Because we've been, if it wasn't for the United States of America,
he said
NATO
for the last several years, and this year how bad NATO is, it needs to be broken up, blah 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 blah. So all of a sudden, when you went over there and put your hand in the cookie jar and the cookie bit back a little bit, you want them to help you with the rest of the cookies now.
Listen, take the United States out of the picture, and the whole map of the world is different. Take the whole.
Nope. So just like you and I, right? I dog you out how bad you work on people's computers, telling everybody how you mess up people's computers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everybody else shop is shutting down right now. So you coming to me and want me to fix your computer now.
We have never went to them. Okay, we haven't never went to them because for some reason, I don't know what it is so far, but I think
let it come out right, Cal. Let me do that over.
Yeah.
Just like you fixing people's computers,
mm-hmm.
Okay? And everybody talking about how bad you just messed up people's computers.
Mm-hmm.
So they ain't want to run in their mouth talking about how bad you were.
But
all of a
he
sudden,
talk about it our own home.
He needs a computer fix, so he come to you, want you to do it. Would you do it for him?
Yeah, the money right. I don't care what he say.
He didn't talk about how bad you were, though.
I don't care. The gas, the light bill still got to be paid. Okay, I'll take the money. Absolutely. All right.
Oh boy. But Calvin, did you are you doing any better with this voting thing idea? What they got going here?
Huh?
You read what I sent you last night? Did you read it, sir?
You did send me something. Yeah.
Did you read it?
And again.
I did you read all of it?
Well, I haven't read all of it because the bottom line is
okay.
ID.
When I don't want to discuss it anymore until you read it all. Then when you can have an intelligent conversation.
All right, appreciate it. Question, Elkman: is voting a right or a privilege? You know, that is a man-made it's a man-made right or privilege. I think it's a man-made privilege because if it was a right, they couldn't take it away. Good morning. Hello. Yon.
Hey, is this Elfman?
Yeah, Yon.
Hey, yeah, I was having some problems getting you live. For some reason, I seem to be getting the same rebroadcast. I can't figure that out. Okay.
Well, you got me live now.
I see that. Okay, well, let me try to see what's going on here with my phone.
Mm-hmm.
All right, sir. I have no idea what the subject is because it keeps going to the very front, to the very beginning of your program.
Oh yeah, I don't know what's up with that.
I did see that you had some PSC ladies. Were they on today?
Well, they weren't from the PSC.
From some other entity.
Right, civilians.
I got you.
They got a coalition together. Yeah, they got a coalition.
I got you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let me see if I can get back to the podcast and hear what you're talking about. All right. Thank you, sir.
For blacks, it's an act. Huh? Anyway, so voting is a the Voting Rights Act was to secure the same privilege that everybody else has in America and not have it denied to us because we happen to be black. But if it was a right, can it be taken away? That's an interesting question. I think it's a privilege / right. But you won't, Don, again.
Whenever you messed around with those women, you set up two different things. You started broadcasting. And
that's
then
right.
you got live and you got a broadcast one that went all the way back to the start of your show.
Oh, that's what happened.
But for Willie Durham, voting is a privilege. I'm sure Willie's going to say something else. But if it's a right, where does it say that you start voting? How do we put rules on age? How do we take it away from prisoners? It's a privilege, Willie. And it's a privilege granted to citizens of the United States, not to Mexico or any place else. And talking about people calling somebody racist, Camilla's ate up with calling people racist. That word don't even mean anything anymore. And then Camilla said you need to check your Constitution on they can say the same thing as you can.
Well, they can say the same. They can say whatever
No, they
they
can't.
say. Who you talking about?
Ask ABC, CBS. How much money did they pay Donald Trump for saying things about him? So where in the Constitution say you can say anything you want about anybody?
Well, I mean, it's called freedom of speech.
No, you can't do it.
I mean,
there's limits. There's limit on speech. Just like it said, you can't yell fire in a crowded theater. There are limits on speech. Yeah. You can't say things. Donald Trump sued ABC because they said lies about him.
Right.
You can't just say anything you want to say. There are limits.
Well, you can.
And not everybody can vote.
You can, but you can. There are consequences.
No, you can shoot yourself in the head if you want. There ain't nobody stop you, but it's sort of stupid. But you can't say anything you want about somebody without some sort of repercussions if you're lying about them. So this freedom of speech is not limited.
Okay.
But Camilla, quit calling people racist. I mean, you're about the only racist I know sitting in on anything. You're the most racist, bigoted person on this thing here. And the bad part is that you're so damn ignorant you don't realize the racist you are.
All righty then. Well, anyway, I see what they're saying about the show. Well, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I accidentally started. I went into the wrong studio this morning. So he got Willie on the brain. I don't know, Willie. Do you think? I think it's a privilege, not necessarily a right. At least, I don't think it's a human right. It is a privilege that can be taken away from you. It ain't like breathing. You can't really take people's right to breathe away. That's a right given to us by God. There are some. There are rights, and then there are inalienable rights. And an inalienable right is a right given to you by God and cannot be taken away, such as the right to survive, the right to live. You got to right. Okay, but voting is a privilege / right. Okay, as long as you conform to the rules of it, then yeah. But CBS did pay Trump and them for talking about him. I mean, you can't say anything. You can't. I mean, you can say it, but like CBS found, Fox found out, people found out it costs them money. It costs them money. So it is voting is a privilege / right. Okay. Anyway, moving right along. What else is going on? What else? Anything else up there? Let's move on to something else. I have brought up the fact often that I do believe that Montgomery and most places there ought to be a. Here we go. Oh.
Voting is a right, Kevin.
If it was a total right, how can you take it?
Lots of things have qualifications to it. That doesn't make it less a right. There's certain rights that you may forfeit depending on what your conduct is. Doesn't mean you don't have it.
Am I correct? It is my understanding that black folks that were born in the United States had the right to vote from conception, from the time they were. But the Voting Rights Act, what it did, it took the impediments away to that right to vote.
Well, you raise a question, then you make a statement.
Yeah. So which I mean, did we not have the right to vote, but people kept putting impediments in the way so we could not vote?
Well, the right to vote for black people, like men, I'm not gonna say black women, black men came after the 15th Amendment. That's what gave black men the right to vote. Okay. So before that, what you had a Supreme Court case that said that black folks weren't citizens, property. I mean, we weren't citizens of the United States, what the 14th Amendment did. It gave us citizenship. Okay. Now you had some free blacks, and you had some blacks that could vote, depending on where they were. So, but you had places where you couldn't. But because you had the inconsistency,
because of the impediment. Because of the impediment.
Yeah, well, I think there were always impediments because it was, kind of hokey.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of depending on where you were, you could be a free black in the South. That didn't mean you had the right to vote.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean, you could be free black in the South. So, but the 15th Amendment, after the states were rebellion and out of the Congress, frankly, and there was no filibuster. That's how you got the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments passed. Those would have never passed if you had the current rules that you got right now. But yes, once we got the 15th Amendment, then there were the Jim Crow impediments, grandfather clauses, poll taxes, literacy tests, anything that anybody, if you were not white, then anything that anybody wanted to put up to
stop you,
to discourage you, to stop you.
Right.
Dude, I mean, they're asking how many bubbles in a bar of soap. That was one of the questions. How many jelly beans are in the jar? I mean, you're never going to have the right answer for that. Then you couldn't vote. Can you recite the Constitution?
Yeah.
Now, there were some, and I'm going to say some, there were some poor whites who were subject to some of those things too, who, these other folks didn't like. But by and large, it was enforced against, black folks, and, en masse. So the Voting Rights Act did take away a lot of those things.
Mm-hmm. And of course, Elkman class is in session. Yeah, I hear you, brother. But again, I still say people.
So they're right.
It was the impediment that the civil rights took stopped. And because if you were born in this constitutionally, I think if you were born here, there was nothing in the Constitution that prohibited you from voting. Is that true? Right. There was nothing. But what happened is that local yokels could put the impediments there so you could not access.
Correct.
That
correct. They were trying to hold on to power. So you got to understand in some of these southern states, slaves outnumbered number one.
Which is why that 2/5 of the human being, and I wish people would stop using it. Douglas, what's it?
3/5.
3/5, right? Well, what's that? Who's the Douglas guy? What was his name? Wrote all these books. Frederick Douglass.
Okay.
Explained it. It was not that they thought we were not human. They did it so because you're right, there were more black folks in some of these places than white folks, and so if they actually voted, then they could vote themselves some freedom, and so they didn't do that. So else the House, I think it was the House or the House Representative, one of them would have had a hell of a lot more representatives than white folks did.
Well, here's what happened. Here's the thing: the southern states and their hypocrisy, which is Southern conservatives, which is typical. They were once Democrats, now they're Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the same group of folks. The conservative, as we apportioned as a population in the North grew, and it grew really through immigration. They call it illegal immigration now. It was just, it was okay then. But anyway, the northern states were becoming more populous. They were getting more representatives. The South had a bunch of slaves, but the slaves weren't citizens. You couldn't count them.
Right.
So a lot of the southern elected officials said, well, well, we don't have as many people as y'all have. We got to do something. And so they wanted to, like I said, they wanted to count the slaves for population purposes for apportionment of representatives, but they didn't count them as people, citizens. And so that's how you had the 3-5 compromise. So the compromise was okay.
Right, but it
we'll
wasn't
give
about,
you.
right, but it wasn't about them not actually being humans. They did it so they wouldn't count in the voting process.
Well, that's probably more on the line of how you treat people, whether you think the whole concept of slavery treats you as a human, and the things that, and the atrocious things that happened, whether that's a matter of opinion, and whether you think that's a human being ought to be treated like that or not, that's somebody's opinion. But the whole point was that it was the apportionment of representatives, and what the South was trying to stave off was Northern abolition of slavery. If we have more Southern representatives who believe in slavery, we can fight this off. So it's always been about that. So even when, conservatives and, these Confederates talk about the lost cause and all this other garbage that's out here, the Civil War was about slavery. Okay. It's talking about this war, Northern aggression, all that BS. And no, it was about slavery, period. Slavery. And all you have to do is go look at the words of the folks who wrote the Articles of Secession, and you know what it was about. I don't need nobody in 2024, somebody born in either the 19th, in the 20th century, or this century, trying to convince me and trying to spread misinformation and tell a damn lie that the Civil War was not about slavery when the hell it was, period. I mean, that's just garbage. And at some point, we got to get back to common sense as to what facts are, and stop trying to say Easter comes on Wednesday, and if I repeat it enough, it'll be true. No, it makes you a damn fool. That's what it does. But that's it. But that's what, getting back to what you were talking about, that's what that was. So it was reading the Voting Rights Act. Civil rights. So you had all these things. You kind of got to go back to segregation. You got to go back to that. You got to go back to Dred Scott. You got to go back to Plessy versus Ferguson, which is cases you ought to talk about, which is how we got here.
Although listen, my only problem with memory and the romanticism of the past in America these days, listen, it happened. There's nothing we can do about what happened. I think we try to work out some of those problems, but if we keep it's the dog thing. If my dog bites you and I knock the hell out of my dog, you are going to be okay with that the first time. But if every time you see me, I'm knocking the hell out of my dog because he bit you 8 years ago, you are going to turn on me and be on the dog side. We keep beating the dog, even though, the dog paid for he didn't pay for his transgression.
Well, that's assuming you assume a couple of things in that. One, the dog may be still nipping at you and charging at you, okay, and occasionally biting you. So yeah, you may need to do something with it. In fact, you may need to put the damn dog down.
Well,
before somebody like me does.
Okay, so we putting the dog down because the dog is doing what dogs do.
Well, dogs do what dogs do, and they get put down for that too. Sure.
Okay. All right.
I used to have a dog that would come by and do stuff in the yard, and the owner wouldn't correct it. The owner wouldn't correct it.
Right, but in your profession,
the dog would come by, dig in the yard, and act crazy in the yard, poop all over the place. Owner never did anything with it.
Okay. Well,
and one day that dog disappeared in my neighborhood.
So let me ask something. But in your profession, there's a principle of one bite at the apple. I think that's what they call it. When a dog can bite somebody one time, and then if he bites him again, then we know that he has a propensity to do that. But if he bites him one time because something happened on the case, I forgot exactly what that principle is. You know what it is.
Human beings aren't dogs, though.
Yeah, but we're not dogs. By dogs.
Well, some of this some of us behave that way, and some folks are called that way, and I've certainly called folks that because of the way they behave. But human beings know what they're doing. Okay, they know what they're doing.
Right.
And they're conscious. They're conscious about that. So it's not someone who can't communicate like a dog can't communicate. I mean, you can't ask a dog a question and you get an answer. But human beings are totally different. So when human beings do things, we know what they're doing. And so even from, like I said, you got to go back and look at, which is something you ought to get into. You got to go back to Reconstruction. and how what occurred during Reconstruction
But I
what didn't
think we
occur in
keep going
Reconstruction.
back there too much. I just think we
Well,
go back
no,
there
we
too
we
much.
don't. Listen, no, we don't go back there enough, Kevin. We don't go back there enough because not enough people know. One, they don't teach it in school, and not enough people know. And what's being taught right now is past children when children are born, whether they're black or white, Asian, whatever. Look, it doesn't matter. Children don't know race. They don't know prejudice when they're born. They don't know that. They are
Sure,
taught.
they don't. But
They're,
if
they're
you
right.
get
They're
to- but if you get to
they're
school,
taught that. Kevin, hold on. They're taught that. Okay, they're taught that.
by us,
So this isn't by their parents.
yeah,
Okay, and people close and people raising them.
Mhm.
That's where you learn about these things. And so the evolution, when people start the evolution, and the issues that we keep having to deal with, which are ridiculous issues. You know, these things are being
Well,
taught.
let me ask you this question though, because we don't have a whole lot of time. But let me ask something. Why is it that we as Black folks are the only people in America that have been? Yeah, we were subjugated to some inhumane treatment, something like that. But we weren't the only people in America that was treated badly. Jewish people were treated badly. Irish were treated badly. Chinese were treated badly. Why are we the only ones still talking about something that we don't live back there anymore? It's an albatross
When was the
around our
last time
neck.
you've been on When was the last time you've been on a Native American reservation to talk to Native Americans?
They ain't got to stay
and
out
ask
there.
about-
They don't got to stay
Well,
out there.
hold on.
That's what they want to do.
Well, that's not what I asked you. Now you keep talking about it's not the only one. You can talk to Latinos. You can talk to any minority in this country, and they got something to say about that.
Okay, but they
Okay.
don't have to stay out there.
What?
They don't have to stay on no reservation. That's what they want to do.
Kevin, you got a lot to learn about that, and you're right. There's not enough time for me to teach you that in 2 minutes.
Are you telling me the Portuguese Indians or anybody can't just get up, move in the neighborhood?
No, that's not what I'm saying. The fact that we're talking about there are reservations and how they got there.
We can't go back there and do that. Right now they're getting paid with casinos.
You have to go through the Trail of Tears. You have to go through the Trail of Tears.
Everybody's got a Trail of Tears. They're in a group of people who don't have it. Everybody's been through hell.
Let me say this. Adam says, at some point, I'm talking about the United States of America, and even the whole concept of what white is in America, the whole concept of what that is, what that means.
Yeah.
You haven't addressed that until that is really addressed, okay? And how that got here.
I don't think we are mature enough yet in order to address it. I just don't think we've grown.
Sure you are. It's an old concept. The whole point in whiteness was to prevent the European factions from fighting and killing each other on this side of the ocean.
Wait a minute, we got Black folks in Africa killing each other.
Kevin, I ain't talking about that right now. I'm talking about the United States of America.
Yeah.
The concept of whiteness, the concept of not being white, and what it meant for you socially, what it meant for you economically.
Yeah.
What it meant for you in any other way. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the fighting in Europe, which was white folks fighting white folks, or the fighting in Africa, which is black folks only fighting black folks. I'm not talking about that.
But it is
I'm
something.
talking about the United States.
It is something that has happened anytime human beings get together. There's going to be the.
That's not the question. We're not debating that. I'm going back to we're not debating that.
Oh.
I'm going back to what you said. Okay, I'm going back to we talked about the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act. And why do we need these things?
Because men will always be men.
We shouldn't. I agree. And so you have this conflict, stay vigilant. That's why you can't take them away.
Mm.
Black folks are about 18% of the United States. 18%. Okay.
I don't think we're at 18%.
19,
I think we're at 13% now.
Look, okay, if it's 13, but I tell you this, 14 is greater than 13 every day of the week and all day Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
It's a simple. That's simple math.
Mm.
So there's going to be what the country had demonstrated through the history is it's animus towards a group of people who looked a certain way.
Yeah, but okay. If you take any group of people, roaches, ants, people, there's always going to be some part of that group that it's discriminated against. Every group.
Kevin. The answer to the question is going to say yes. Now that being said, well, here's what you haven't had. All right, yeah. There is no widespread Okay, but so that's why I say it's the concept of being white, or it's the concept of being non-white, and what those things, what white, when I say what second-class citizenship in America meant, what being white actually meant in America.
Well, I was born in this country, so I know a little bit about that. But you cannot hold that time hostage of history as a hostage to history, and still lay your bed, lay your hat, put your pillow on it, and lay there. We just can't.
I don't know what that meant.
I know it's,
but I don't think anybody is. You're not talking about something that happened. Like, for instance, Jewish people are not. While you recognize what the Holocaust was, and the Holocaust was real, all those right-wing nuts who say that it wasn't real, it was real. Okay, see the BS about that. That was real. Now, that being said, okay, Jewish people who still face discrimination and anti-Semitism because they are simply Jews, because they do not believe that Jesus was the actual Son of God, which is the problem that Christians have with Jews. Okay, they still face threats to this day. Those threats are real, Kevin.
Sure,
but real.
But every group of people have those threats.
No. Really? Because you have a concept. No, you have this concept in America. But you keep missing this. There's a concept in America called being white, which encompasses the smaller ethnic and cultural issues that Europeans had. We don't.
And again, the French and
the Germans have been fighting for thousands of years.
But I gotta
really
go.
like each other.
We can continue this.
We'll pick this up
later on because I appreciate you, but I just don't think living back in the past is a way to get to the future. It don't. We've been whining about this for years and years and years, and we still. Anyway, no time for any calls. Gotta run, but we can take this up on another day. Anyway, time's up. See you guys later, but we'll replay the show later on today and see what's going on. Bye.
Every moment filled with your warm embrace.